Hello everyone, welcome to this new live streaming series from Zer0 to SaaS, where we want to build a payment link platform from scratch, kind of a cloud-hosted payment link platform, but open source, kind of in the open, build it in public, learn in public. And now a payment link application is definitely not a novelty idea. There is a bunch of platforms out there that do this really well. Actually, here in Singapore, even the Singapore government has a pay.gov.sg kind of payment link application for their government agencies to send payments to other folks. And yeah, but what I really like about this idea is you can build something very MVP with kind of a very MVP scope. And we're going to look at kind of what that scope initially looks like. But then you can build a lot of functionality on top. And so that's really what I'm wanting to show with the series is build something very MVP and then kind of incrementally build functionality on top. And as we build functionality on top, we'll need things like sign up, login, authentication, data persistence, real-time data syncing, and all of that good stuff. And for that, I'm hoping to collaborate with all of you. And yeah, hoping to invite other guests onto the show. I actually have a surprise guest, kind of spontaneous guest for today's show, a colleague of mine at Stripe, and we're going to have him on the show later on to look at the Stripe Connect side of things. And in terms of cadence, actually, if you're in the chat, I'd love if you quickly comment kind of where you're tuning in from, and whether this is a convenient time for you. I'm still kind of trying to experiment with kind of the timing, and also want to, so like Europe is currently asleep. For me, it's Monday. For the US West Coast, it's Sunday night. So I'm trying to experiment with that. I'm hoping to sort of at least do, yeah, kind of work on this twice a week. So I'm thinking kind of Monday morning Singapore time, and then Thursday night Singapore time to have something for, you know, for the European folks as well. And then for the upcoming Thursday episode, I have Lee Robinson join me, who's done a lot of things with Next.js, and we're going to look at kind of incremental static regeneration, kind of somewhat advanced thing. But yeah, let me share my screen, and then we can jump in. Great, and so I actually have this public Notion board here that I'm using to track the project, and it is open for comments. So yeah, I'd love for you, please keep it friendly. Otherwise, I'll have to disable the comments. But yeah, I'd love for you to jump in there and kind of leave comments and help shape this project. Nice, we got folks joining in from Western Australia, San Jose, nice. That's awesome. Costa Rica, 8 p.m. Awesome. Hopefully you have a nice cold beverage of your preference with you. And yeah, in terms of kind of the initial project scope, what we want to do is really in the initial kind of project, really start without a database, actually without any login and authentication, and without any admin interface. And the way we can do this is by kind of using Stripe as sort of our admin interface. The Stripe dashboard has a lot of functionality nowadays to manage product data. And so that's kind of what we want to utilize. And then actually using webhooks and using the metadata on Stripe objects, we can actually achieve a lot of the admin functionality initially. And that is what we want to do here. And so kind of in the initial MVP, We want to allow merchants to connect their own Stripe account, so they're running their own business. They have their own Stripe account that they can log into, and that's what we use Stripe Connect for. And then we listen to kind of the product creation events, and then update the product with metadata, where we then write the payment link to the metadata of the product, and so folks can then look at their products. Oh, hey Nick, glad you can hear me now. Fantastic. Yeah, so they can just manage everything in their Stripe dashboard, but then as we kind of go along, we want to have additional functionality, potentially subscriptions, recurring products, maybe sort of a free input amount. You can think of it as kind of the Grab Pay, where you scan a QR code, you put in the amount that you want to pay, and then you pay with your kind of online payment methods. Another one is inventory tracking, or named URL parameters. So for you to actually set a merchant name and a product name. So in the kind of initial scope, the sort of URL schema I was thinking of is, so I actually have this payment.online domain that I've bought, and then is kind of account ID underscore, your account ID, and then sort of the product ID. And that way we can get away with not having a database in the beginning. And so, yeah, this is where we want to start. And we want to build this really with kind of Next.js and TypeScript. Next.js has a bunch of great stuff that we want to utilize. So especially things like the incremental static regeneration. So when we don't use a database and kind of rely on getting data from Stripe, we don't necessarily want to make a GET request to Stripe every time, but rather we want to generate static pages and then regenerate them sort of every once in a while at a defined interval. And so, yeah, that's what we want to do. And so let's actually start from scratch here. So we go to the docs. Getting started, you need Node.js 10, 13 or higher. And here we can use the create next app. And I have a directory already here for me. That's an empty one, payment.online. So let's go create this next app. And we're actually just going to call it payment.online. So that's kind of the, yes, there we are. And so now create next app kind of spins up the project for us. And we're done. And we can now cd into this. And you can see here, I'm actually using my C shell. It's kind of a nice extension. And we kind of see we have now, so if we go into git log, we can see that create next app has done an initial commit on the main branch. And so I've actually set this up. There's a great blog post by my friend Sean Wang, Swix, on the interwebs. And he has written a great cheat sheet here, how to kind of move your projects from master to main. And so if you have existing projects, you can rename the branches, kind of follow this here. But so what I did is just kind of set the default in the git config. And actually I have, yeah, maybe let me post that into the chat. And so if I go to my GitHub, I've actually put kind of my dot files into a repository over the weekend. And here you can see, let me post that as well. you can see kind of the git config. So what that does when you run that command, you basically just specify in your git config that the default branch should be main. And so that's why we can see here that Git has Next app has created the initial commit on the main branch. This is great. So now let's actually open this in VS Code. And you can see I have some things up with my VS Code where it's sometimes, I don't think it's my alias. Yeah, sometimes it just mucks about. If anyone knows why that might be with kind of the shell integration, do let me know. But yeah, so this is where we're at. And yeah, if you're interested, so all my kind of aliases and sort of configuration for my C shell is in here. So I'm using the Robbie Russell theme, and then I have a bunch of aliases here for Git, just kind of, to set upstream by default and things like that. I've got some yarn npm aliases, and then some stripe CLI aliases for like the webhook listening and stuff. Yeah, maybe if you yourself have some cool aliases, post them in the comments, or if you have a location for it, that'd be awesome. But so now what we want to do is just run yarn dev. And so we're up and running. And yeah, I have this problem here where it opens this on the wrong screen. So let me actually just copy. And right, I actually want this. Yeah, so I have a bunch of different browsers with different Chrome profiles. So like, I don't want to expose my kind of address and credit card information accidentally. So I have this sort of demo with a little avocado kind of demo profile, which then has just kind of dummy demo data and the safe address stuff. And yeah, so now we have our Next.js project spun up here, which is great. So let's actually move this maybe over to our folder here. Tab. Maybe make that the first. And so we want to build with TypeScript. And what's really cool with Next.js is we sort of get TypeScript very easily, kind of default configuration. Really, the only thing that we have to do is to create a TypeScript config in the root of our project. So here we now have the empty tsconfig. And so now if we run yarn dev again, I think it's going to shout at us because we don't have TypeScript here installed and the dependencies that we need, which is interesting because it might, could potentially do that automatically, but maybe you don't want that. Yeah, if anyone knows why that doesn't happen automatically, let me know. But so now we have the dependencies installed, so we can look at our package JSON. So they are added to JSON. I always say JSON. Shout out to Jason Langsdorff, who sort of got me into the streaming thing. He's got a great show, Learn with Jason, that I've been guest of a couple times. So that's been really enjoyable. But yes, so we now have a TypeScript, actually TypeScript version 4.0. I still need to, I think that's a fairly recent release. Still need to dive into what that actually means. I think there was a great blog post that I was meaning to look at. Yeah, maybe if, let me post that in the chat. So I'm going to read that sometime this week, maybe. But so now when we rerun our yarn dev, what Next.js does, it puts kind of all the default configuration that's needed for Next.js together. And so now our Next.js project, is TypeScript ready. which is really, really cool. So we're still running here. Everything's working as expected. So we can now actually, as you can see, our index page is, still a JavaScript page. And so we can actually build kind of incrementally with TypeScript, which is really nice. So for example, here we have an API route. So the way API routes works, they are turned into Lambda functions and then accessible as API. And then here it's hello. And so when the API route is executed, here it's just sending the JSON here named John Doe. But so now if we go back into TypeScript, we can actually, here API routes is what we're looking at. And so we can type the response data. So let's actually turn this into a TypeScript file. Let's just go with rename TypeScript. And you can see now here that it's going to say, implicit any, not great. So let's actually go ahead and type this. And so now you can see that we have here our next API response data. We have kind of all the type definitions. And we can say that here the response should be of type data. And so we give that a save. We might have to restart because we renamed the file. I'm not sure. I'm never quite sure when exactly we need to restart versus not restart. But so now we've made our API route TypeScript ready, which is great. So for example, Stripe also supports TypeScript. So maybe actually, should we make a commit here? Yeah, maybe let's do that. So add everything to Git, and then I have Git commit all changes basically, and then just say move to TypeScript. Let's do that. And now we're TypeScript. There's a question. What do you think are the benefits of typing? Oh, maybe I'm using this tool called StreamYard, which is really nice. And so I can put in the comments here, which is pretty cool. What do you think are the benefits of typing the function parameters rather than using the Next API handler? Call signature. I'm not entirely sure what the Next API handler. Kevin, can you expand what you exactly is that? Is that just the untyped handler? So maybe one example here. So if we add Stripe. And so Stripe nowadays, the Stripe Node client ships with type definitions. So we can actually look at, maybe let me blend that out and try to hopefully with my excursion. So to answer that eventually, so the Stripe docs here, and if we go to developer tools, there's some good stuff. So libraries and UI components. And so here we got the server-side libraries. And so we're using Node, TypeScript with Node. And so this is, yeah, okay, let's do that for now. Import Stripe. And so now we have the types, kind of the Stripe namespace available here. And so what we can do now is, for example, if we say const payments equals so Stripe, and now we get the autocomplete. So we kind of have the sort of the whole Stripe API reference in our in our IDE in VS Code. And so let's just say we want charges. We want a list. So you can see here it returns a list of charges. And we can now get the autocomplete here, kind of the filter options. And so we want to, let's say, limit this just to one result. And now we need to make this an async function so we can do await. Very good. Limit one. And now you can see that payments will be, so Stripe charges.list asynchronous function. And when we await this, it will resolve with an API list of stripe.charge. And so we can now say, okay, our one payment that we wanted here is now payments dot, and we get again kind of the auto completion here, data, and you can see that data. So data is now an array of stripe.charge. So we only have one result, so we can grab the first one here, and you can see now that payment is a Stripe charge object. And so if we now return the payment, it's going to complain, and maybe that is going to answer your question, Kevin, that type charge is not assignable to parameter of type data. So because we told the response that it should be of type data, it is complaining here and it's telling us, hey, and this is great if your front end expects a certain data shape for this API route, then you really want to make sure that you're not breaking the front end accidentally. So this is nice here. So what we can do now is, okay, we don't need this type anymore, but we can now say, so we want to return a stripe.charge, and now we don't have any problems, any errors anymore. And so now if we rerun dev and we go to our API route, we have an internal server error. Let's see. That's always great to have. Type argument entity is required. What is happening? Okay, I'm not entirely sure. Anyone see what's happening here? Argument entity is required. That was going so well. So we have our Stripe, we have. Maybe let's see if that works. Okay, that works. So it must be something with our API. It's a type error. Okay, I was seeing such high praise of TypeScript. Guess I'm paying for it now. Argument entity is required. Waiting. Stripe. I mean, we're still in hello here. API version. Anyway. Okay, let's see if I change this to any. Does that resolve it at all? Ooh, Monday morning, huh? No, we still have the server error. Okay, let me see. Okay, it recompiles. Okay, that works. So did I do anything? Isn't payment? Okay, not entirely sure, but at this point, maybe my colleague Matt knows. Matt, are you ready to go? So I'm gonna, let me see. Cool, so let me actually add Matt to the stream.
Hello.
Hey Matt, can
Hello.
you hear
Can
us?
you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hello, hello. Thanks for joining on your Sunday night.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if you were following along, but I think I might have messed something up here.
Yeah. So I think what's tripping up next here. I think the Stripe charge objects and other Stripe objects aren't regular JavaScript things, because I know we do some like weird lazy loading behind the scenes within the SDK. I wonder if you spread the payment variable into an empty object for .json, if that would help.
Well, let's actually see maybe if we just return the payment ID. So that should be a string, right?
It should be, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe let's see if that is fine. No, we still have... It's funny because I tested this. Cannot read proper...
ID of undefined.
Oh, wait. Do I maybe not have any...
Oh, that'll do it too.
Do I not have any charges?
The most magical JavaScript object, undefined.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So, okay, if we go here... Okay, we don't have any payments.
Be sure to be in test mode.
Yes, okay, let's see. Okay, maybe, yeah, we're still, okay. Let's create a payment. That's funny. Let's not use a customer. We can use our test payment method here. So I have that stored in my demo. That is such interesting. So I probably, yeah, if I had wrapped it into a try catch, that probably would have done it. Thanks. That would have been the next step. So, but now if we...
You should just be able to rerun it again without recompiling.
Yeah, I guess so.
In theory. Oh, there you go.
There we are. All right. So that's a funny thing. I generally never have a test account that doesn't have a payment on it. So when I tested this yesterday, I was using a different account. So always make sure you have payments. That's basically the gist of this.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, but maybe what we want to do is actually today look at Stripe Connect, because we want to allow folks to pay. Maybe if we just Google it, it's Stripe Connect. And yeah, Matt, you work on Stripe Connect, and I think you recently redid the cool Stripe Standard Connect onboarding experience. I can actually show you this on my sticker store. Sorry, little advertisement
Self-plug.
here. Yes, indeed. So if you want to, let me just put that in the comments. It's more kind of a test bed for me. You don't really have to buy anything, but the more you buy, the faster he spins. So that's the cutest Mjolnir here. But so I operate this as a marketplace, which really just has one connected account because I'm just selling one sticker. But it's this this great artist in Florida. Actually, let me splush. So she designed, I commissioned the stickers, and she has these really, really cute stickers here. I have a bunch of those. But so she designed it, and she also prints the stickers herself. And so she basically just went through this Connect flow where she clicks to connect to a Stripe account. And now this is the new onboarding experience. And Matt, maybe actually for the folks here on the stream, do you quickly want to introduce yourself? I also know you built kind of a Connect application and a SaaS application yourself, Pinecast. Is it Pinecast?
Pinecast.com. Pinecast. There you go.
Yeah, maybe just give us a quick intro. Maybe also let us know about Pinecast.
Yeah, of course. So I work on Stripe Connect. I am currently on the account experience team, which is in charge of building what's effectively all of the onboarding flows except for Atlas, but we're going to get them too. And our job is to make sure that signing up for a Stripe account is as simple and seamless and straightforward as possible for everyone. Making sure it's mobile friendly, making sure that it's accessible, making sure that it's fast, reducing the requirements that you're prompted with to the minimum viable set up front, making sure that we can do progressive onboarding if that's something that you're interested in. On the side, back in 2014, which is well before I joined Stripe, I started this side hustle called Pinecast. And the idea was my buddies and I were doing a podcast, and the host we were using was going out of business. And I looked at the options and I said, no, I'm building this myself. So I threw this together, and over the years, I was one of the first 100 Stripe Atlas companies, actually.
Nice.
And I've been putting it together and building it up. And it's sort of like the perfect way for me and other teams to dog food Stripe products. Right now, I'm working with the banking team and the core card team. Mm-hmm. We test all sorts of fun Connect stuff with it. And it's a real, actual live business.
That's amazing. That's the dream, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a little challenging, but it's been fun.
Actually, if you don't mind me asking, what's the tech stack?
Sure. So the site that you're looking at is actually completely static, hosted on Netlify. Gotcha. The main application is Django. So the backend is Python, running on Heroku. The front end is moving to an all React app written in TypeScript.
Nice.
And then there are some other assorted pieces which run on AWS. The podcast websites are rendered, and all the data is fetched from a Node backend running Koa with TypeScript and React.
Awesome. I mean, this looks really great. Like, do you use for styling? Do you use a framework or?
No, it's all from scratch.
Nice.
I've been writing CSS for longer than I'm willing to admit on stream. So just a lot of practice.
That's dope. Yeah, I'll definitely need to find someone to collaborate on for my CSS. I do want to try out kind of a couple different. I've heard good things about Tailwind recently.
Yeah.
And so
one of my most major competitors is using Tailwind.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good framework.
Yeah, exactly. And so if there are any Tailwind experts, Next.js plus Tailwind watching, do let me know. Maybe we can do a joint stream. I think that'd be super interesting because... Oh, wait, this literally looks... Did they steal your design? Well, it doesn't look...
If they did. It's okay. Look at that one.
It looks great. Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, what we want to do is dive into Standard Connect. And yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about kind of the changes to the onboarding experience. So I think previously it was kind of the standard OAuth flow that you would do, and now we've moved to kind of a more how would you call it? Sort of.
We've been calling it API based.
Okay.
So when Connect was first introduced, the idea was you could have multiple folks with Stripe accounts, and you could connect them together such that charges could span multiple Stripe accounts. We used OAuth for this. So sort of the same thing that you would like log into Twitter with on a website. That had a lot of limitations, especially when you consider the sign-up case, which isn't something that you'd normally do with OAuth, right? You're not going to sign up for a Twitter flow when you click sign in with Twitter.
Yeah.
So Custom Connect came next. At the time, it was called Managed, and that was entirely API based. You would interact exclusively through the API. The end user didn't have a user-facing portal, website, account, anything. It was entirely behind the scenes, but that was very technically complicated and had a lot of limitations. Then we came out with Express, which is sort of this happy medium between the two, where we do a lot of heavy lifting for you, but they're still your customers. You still interact through the API. You still sort of control that experience. But now we're on this big push to sort of equalize the account types. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks that went with custom are realizing, oh, this is actually really hard to do. And this very white labeled experience means that I end up writing a heck of a lot more code. I invest more in localization. I invest more in accessibility, country support. Mm-hmm. At the other end of the spectrum, you have standard, which has many more restrictions, and it doesn't feel white labeled. It doesn't feel like it's part of your product. It doesn't feel like it's this tight integration. So standard was the first piece. We launched with Express support at the same time. So all of these docs, if you swap type equals standard for type mm-hmm. equals Express, it should do exactly what you expect. The idea is you create the account through the API, Stripe accounts.create, type standard, you get an account ID back. And then we have this API called account links. The idea is you as a platform express an intent to Stripe to allow some user to interact with us directly. So you're saying, I'm going to forward you someone. They are associated with this account. When they're done, send them back to here. And here's what I want you to do with them. Onboard their account, update their information, whatever. And then we show the appropriate user interface. So with just these two APIs, two quick API calls, hopefully, you can get to this point where you have this nice onboarding login experience. It handles auth. It handles KYC information collection, country selection, business type selection, information for statement descriptors, all sorts of good stuff. Make sure 2FA is set up. Unfortunately, mm-hmm. you do have to use your real phone number. So I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this is actually in live mode here as well for me. But yeah, I think what you can see is that this is very customized to kind of my sticker store. So, you know, while I'm not necessarily great at CSS, I'm great at choosing colors. And so this was really nice for me to just, you know, kind of put in my color scheme. And so we can actually look at, I think it's in the settings.
Yeah, settings, and then the upper right.
Let me see. Maybe some cookies mixed up. No, I think it's because
you went to
in the same
standard
browser.
Flow. Yeah.
Yeah, so it switches the cookies for the but so here, I think it's just the branding settings. Or
so
do I go to the
it'll be under
settings?
Connect settings, but unfortunately, you need to set up your Connect platform first, which is a
wait, you can see that I'm now in the context
right.
of the connected account. So actually, I think I have to log out.
You sign out and then sign back in.
Out. Yeah, that's maybe something in terms of testing the flow. I mean, I probably should do kind of different browser or, you know, just kind of incognito mode if I'm testing the sign up, so I don't get locked out of my platform. Mm-hmm. But yeah, otherwise it's kind of a lot of context switching. Sticker store. But so we got the settings and then the Connect settings.
There you go. And then all the way at the bottom of this page, you'll see branding settings.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really, really nice that kind of just with a couple of things like, you know, logo and kind of your two colors, brand color, accent color, you can actually make the UI look, you know, pretty on brand, which is really cool. Okay, so let's actually go from scratch. That's kind of the whole idea, from 0 to SaaS. So actually, let's go payment.online. That's kind of the nice URL I got myself. I couldn't afford the whole word payment. But
as one does.
Exactly. Okay, and so I think now if I actually reload the docs here, we'll have the context of, yes, my test secret API key. Maybe let me actually switch the ordering. I always need to do a couple things. I think I need to set, I do have an account name.
Under the connect settings, you'll want to make sure that you have a name, an icon, and a brand color set at the very least.
Sounds good. So maybe let's do that right away. Let me just, yeah, the browser gets confused with my settings. I'm originally from Germany, but then, mainly worked with Stripe in Dublin, then Amsterdam, now Singapore. So my browser is just completely confused. Where are we? Cool. So settings. And okay, so get started. So if I'm kind of a new account onboarding with Connect, I think I need to enable, and actually the new sort of onboarding experience as a platform is really nice. So you can choose kind of, do you want to build a platform or marketplace? Kind of gives you some examples, or an extension, Slack Baremetrics, where you kind of interact with the data on the Stripe account. But so here we want to build a platform. And so now do I need to activate? No, for testing, not, right?
For test mode, no.
Okay.
You shouldn't need to.
And so now I do have my connect settings.
That's right.
And so let me see, we have account types. And you said I need
You'll need
an
an icon, a brand color, and a name, which is a little bit further up.
Icon. Do I have? Oh, I don't have my. Okay, let's use the hammer for now. That's the one I have here. And then I think I have somewhere kind of my branding. Okay, I need to figure out what my blue is, but let's just leave it. We can figure that out later. So that should be it.
And then if you scroll up just a little bit, there is a business name.
Okay, so payment.online. And then, yeah, I don't have that yet. Will it complain, or?
I don't think it should complain.
Okay. Online, so that's where we will be eventually. Save that. Cool. And so now we need, we can go through this, right?
That's right.
Using standard connect. And so maybe let's create a new API route. What do we want to call this? So we're creating kind of an account link, basically. So maybe we say connect /link. Yes. And then we can, there's probably a snippet somewhere for this, but just kind of the signature of the API route. And now we can get started. And actually, so if we go to my GitHub, we have, so the sticker store is also completely open source. So we can do here sticker store, and maybe just look at the functions. So this one is running on Netlify, so it's kind of using the Netlify functions here. But so we have create account link, and so that's basically what we need, right? We need to.
So this will both create the account and create the account link. There's sort of a two-step process that you're probably going to want to do. For the sake of having this as a demo with no database backend, assuming you don't have session support, What it means is that you're going to want to create the account in one of these functions, and then have, for instance, like /link/account ID, and then from there you generate the account link to that account ID.
Yeah, so ideally kind of what you want to have is actually want to have this behind a protected sort of merchant backend route, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Don't just allow people to pass in their own account IDs in production, please.
Yes.
It will be a bad day for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's called out somewhere as well. That where is it here? Yeah, do not text, email, or otherwise, and that you authenticate the user in your application. Now, the thing is, for me, kind of for the MVP, really, I think you saw this in kind of my project here. I really want to basically get started without any database, any login authentication, by just interacting with the objects on their Stripe account.
Yep. And yeah, so I think, for the MVP, totally fine to just pass in the account ID as part of the URL. It's just, as soon as you do have a database, you're going to want to go in and add that additional check to say, does this account ID match up with the one that I expect this user to be having?
Yeah, I think so. One thing I'll have to do then eventually is when I add authentication and sort of user accounts, I need to figure out, does this user actually have access to this Stripe account in order to then link up their account? Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
So is there a way for me to like figure out if they have... I probably would use OAuth for that then. Is that correct? To like figure out which Stripe account they actually have access to?
So OAuth can give you that information, but the OAuth onboarding process links it as well. This has been a pretty frequent ask. One of the reasons why we're moving away from the OAuth account model is because it overloads a whole bunch of different sorts of terms.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's a problem for the future. So let's just do this for now. And we'll definitely want to put these into environment variables. We're going to look at how to do that with Zer0. Zer0 actually has a nice sort of way to have kind of sort of preview and then production and development environment variables. And yeah, so we're going to figure that out. But for now, well, maybe actually should we do this now? I think it's for local development, it's actually fairly easy to do. So we just need to, let's actually look it up. Next.js and no, environment variables, there we are. And then, yeah, we can do to load kind of local environment variables. Where do we have it? Yeah, here, .env, .local. So is that all we do? We can pull them. No, but we just want... Okay, so I guess we can just do .env.local. So add a new file. It's ignored by default, which is great. And then we can just say Stripe secret key. So this is the secret key that you want to definitely keep secret. There we are. Secret key. And I actually think because you don't generally want to expose this on the stream, I have, there's a cloak. So if you're live streaming, cloak is a great extension where you can hide the environment variables in your files. So they are there, you can see that, but they are hidden. which is great. So cloak, that's a great extension here, John Popper in the VS Code extensions. And then I think what we can do is actually, so Next.js automatically loads the .env.local file, and then we can just say process.env .stripe secret key. And does it, okay, it's recognized as a string, which is fantastic. And then I think that should just work. And so I think there's an environment variable as well later on for Vercel to actually get your sort of URL from the environment variable. But so what we can do here now is actually just add it to our .env file. And then what do we want to, maybe we just go back to the index.
So if you're just going to be running this locally, you can just put, local host, whatever port it's on, and it should work fine. In production, this would be your fully qualified origin. So HTTPS, your domain / something like that.
Yes. Yeah, so I think if we deploy to Vercel, we'll have that in an environment variable. Now that's the problem if we put it in here. Maybe I can quickly show secrets. Yeah, so just kind of localhost. We're running on port 3000. Here we are, and then we just put that in. And we just say URL. And maybe can you kind of tell the refresh URL versus the return URL?
Yeah, so for a little bit of context, these account links are one-time use and they have a really strict expiration. The idea is we want to allow you to convey consent for this user to go into this flow. They're going to go into the flow and the URL is immediately consumed. If you visit it again, you will not get a 200 response. Gotcha. So this is part of why we say don't email it, don't text message it. iMessage, taking a preview of that URL is going to consume the code. So the return URL is the user got in, they clicked through everything, and we're ready to send them back to you. They may have finished, they may not have finished, they may have clicked save for later, but now we're sending them back to you to continue with whatever they were doing. The refresh URL instead says, there's something wrong that prevents us from showing this user the page. The link is expired, somebody's already visited it, maybe the user sneakily disconnected their account in the interim, any number of things. And we say, we're going to send the user back to you at this URL. From there, generate a new URL with the same settings. And if there's a problem that's more systemic, you'll get a 400 on that request.
Okay.
Otherwise, generate a new URL, redirect them back over, and it should work as expected.
Nice. And so basically I have the, what was it, the detailed submitted parameter.
That's right.
And I could, yeah, so I should listen to account updated webhooks, or I can retrieve the account object, I guess, and inspect it. Cool. So we got that. So we are, when we execute this API request, we create a new standard account, and then we immediately create an account link for it. And then what we return is, and I think actually this is different for, if we look here, we just do this. So I just copy this over from the Netlify functions, and there the signature is a little bit different. So it's actually a good question. Like, do I have to return these functions? I think it's probably not necessary, but
you shouldn't need to for this. I think it just expects a void function.
So basically, when I call response, it's just the function execution ends, right? So I don't really.
That's right.
Yeah. Cool. And then if I catch an error, I just want to send the, if only I could type. And so here 400, and then just the error. Cool. Actually, as an object. Isn't the error already an object? We'll figure it out. Cool. And then we don't need the return. Is that it? Okay. And so that should give us an account link. So maybe actually let's just call and let's just try and call this.
As a word of caution to the viewers, anytime you interact with the Accounts API directly, I'd caution you against directly returning the error object to your user.
Okay.
If you're pre-filling information through the Accounts API, user PII, things like date of birth, name, address, if you're not sure where those errors are going, it could end up, causing some privacy issues. Especially if you're in the EU, you want to be careful. California as well.
So really here we would want to, kind of whatever we use for sort of error tracking, kind of ping.
Exactly.
Ping our, lock system.
Yep. Store that error. You could return, sometimes it'll have an error code, which is very useful. And that can point you to a particular type of error. There's also error param, which will point which parameter you pass to the API had an error. But for debugging sake, we're all friends here. We'll look the other way. But just do be careful. Anytime you're returning errors directly to the user, if it does have sensitive information, it could be problematic.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's try this out. I think my route was connect/link. So API connect/link. And so now we have our URL here. And so maybe we can just go there. Let's see if we're fast enough. Cool. Payment online, partners with Stripe for secure payments. Awesome. And then we'll probably just want to adapt our color scheme to match the payments. Cool. Yeah. So basically, what I have to do next is then kind of marry this with the front end. Do we still recommend kind of to say connect with your Stripe account, or kind of what's the?
So it depends. We don't have like a button like we had previously. Specifically, you can still use it. It's a great image. Now, it may make more or less sense to create the account earlier or later. So for instance, if there's a part of your onboarding flow where it's, set up your payments provider, you could create the account then. You can also create the account earlier in the flow, and then as you collect information from your user, pre-populate it with information that they provide, whether it's PII, information about their company, etc. So where you actually create it is up to you. Some folks do a 302 redirect from their onboarding flow over to Stripe, which is nice and easy. Some folks will open it up in a new window and then use window.post message to communicate with the page behind it. Lots of different options.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's a good point. So we could probably just do a redirect here. Okay, cool. But yeah, so I think kind of the next steps, I have an idea what I have to do. So I'll just kind of reuse the button I have for now, and then kind of later on figure that out with the authentication. But yeah, Matt, thanks so much for joining us and kind of talking us through the new onboarding flow. I'm gonna let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Thanks so
Thanks
much
for having me.
for joining in. And
Of course.
yeah, anything, any last comments or anything you want to plug or anything?
Just, if you're using this in your own project, our team loves feedback. Please don't hesitate to reach out to support@stripe.com or support@stripe.com with any feedback. It gets routed directly to our team. Love to hear from folks that integrate, any pain points or things that you wish could be integrated or done. Really do appreciate it.
Awesome. Yes, please test this out and submit your feedback. Brilliant. Thanks, Bastian, and have a
good one.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Cool. So yeah, I actually need to figure out. I have this nice background here for me, but when I have guests, I need to figure out how to also show their handle. Cool. So now we have a way to create our account link to then redirect to. And so I'm just going to actually take this connect with Stripe. So we're just going to create a new page, maybe. So we got our index page. So I just maybe say, I mean, in the future we'll have kind of a connect route. Should we let's just call it connect for now, and we can figure out. And now we can use TSX, so TypeScript. It's like JSX, but with TypeScript support. And then I think we can. We got this figured out. We got our link, and yeah, we can basically just say export default function. Nice, let's do that. So and I think we want to call the function connect. Okay, that's great. And I think let's actually just go with a button for now. And maybe we should say, so you can give the button a type, submit. I think there's another type called link. I guess TypeScript doesn't like that. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly. Oh, okay, we got some questions. What's that? In Stripe. So we have a question. Let's maybe answer this now. So can we show two at once? No, we can't. So, but yeah. Let's say I'm building a platform where users can leverage an existing CMS for their product data, or so a content management system or a product management system. Does the user also need to create their product in Stripe? No. So you can create the product data in Stripe, but in general, you can always create a payment. We're actually going to use checkout. So for example, let's look here. Accept the payment. And so we want checkout button. So you can see here that for checkout, you provide, you create a checkout session and you provide line items. And in the line items, you can provide price data and product data in line. So you can take that from kind of your CMS or your product management system or just your database and put that in there. But you could also create the products and prices upfront within Stripe. And so that's what we're leveraging here. And really that's just for the MVP because we're kind of relying, we're not having our own database or content management system. So we're kind of utilizing sort of Stripe as kind of the product management system, which kind of has limited capabilities, but it'll be sufficient for our MVP. Cool. But yes, so button, I wanted to look up, doesn't the button have a type link? Let's see. Where's my MDN? No. Okay, so maybe let's just leave out the type for now and figure this out later. And then say connect with Stripe. So let's just have a look at what is happening there. So now we have a page called Connect. We have a button, Connect with Stripe. Button doesn't do anything. We'll need to figure out the styling later. But so for now, what we want to do, and actually what I wanted to look into was, so we could redirect directly from our Next.js route here. So instead of doing a 200 and returning JSON, I believe we can, actually, let's see if, what we can do here. Can we just do, oh, there's a redirect. Maybe that's it. And just the URL string. So we could say account, what was it? Account link. Why doesn't it give me, I think I might have disabled. Interesting. Okay. .url. And then is redirect, let's look this up anyway. Next API route redirect. You can use this. It's possible to use res.redirect. Yeah, but it's 302 status, just to comply with the spec. So let's do that. And then I think what we can do is just when someone clicks the button, we just do a redirect to Stripe. Let's call it that. And what does redirect to Stripe do? We don't need an input. We basically just do window dot. Do we have to check if the window exists, or do we know? No, because we called it on the button click, so the window should be there. Location, and I think we can do assign. Navigates to the given URL, and then we just do. Do we just do API connect? Can we do that? Let's see if that works. Connect. No, okay, nothing happens. Oh, yeah, well, we need to hook things up. On. Okay, I need to figure out why I'm not getting. Okay, I think I have to have something disabled. Yeah, I kind of blindly copied this from maybe this. Does it do anything? Blindly copied this from Jason Langstoff, so I think he likes to not get suggestions and just write everything from scratch. But I'd like to get my... Okay, anyway, so maybe we just need to be interesting. And then we want to redirect to Stripe. And yeah, you see, that's where I'm missing my autocomplete. Come on. Okay. So yeah, if anyone sees what settings I've got, is it auto? If in doubt, let's Google VS Code. Is it snippet? No, it's not. Yeah, okay, I guess you gotta figure out how to... completion. Is it completion? Anyway, okay. Let's just be vigilant at typing. Okay, connect with Stripe. I'll figure this out later. And so now, connect with Stripe could not be found. Oh, yeah, because we're connect/link. That makes a lot of sense. Connect link. Let's go back. Oh, nice. Okay. So this does what we wanted to do. So let's actually... suggestions array. Okay, okay. Let's see. Do I just want everything? Quick suggestions. Let's see this. Thanks a million. This was it. Suggestions array. There we are. Commons. Not really sure what they mean, but maybe I just... Is it possible to comment out? Let's do this. Thanks a million. That's brilliant. So if we now do... okay. So now we do... Okay, cool. Nice. So what we want... to do now is, someone connects their Stripe account, and okay, let's actually just do this. So when I'm testing, I always fall back to my German roots. So I'm a German tester, and then I use, oh, come on. And now, okay, what do I want? Traffic lights. That's some very American traffic lights there. And so I now need a real phone number. That's a bit of a bummer. Yeah, that's some good feedback for Buster. So let me actually pull that off screen. Yeah, that's always the security versus. Can I put this back on screen now? Let me see. Yeah, I think so. Security versus convenience. I think in test mode, wouldn't really need that, right? Okay, so test. Okay, let's just use the Stripe office address. Just sign up as an individual. We probably should have signed up as German, but wait. Why doesn't this? Okay, because I can't type. Do I need that? Maybe I don't need that. Maybe that's optional. Select your industry. So this is now the context of someone who would be using our platform to sell something online. So maybe they just sell like accessories. Do we have that? Clothing and accessories. And then the idea is that they would, use the payment link and just put that into their Instagram. So let's say I actually have an Instagram with Thor Web Dev. I just kind of, have sort of everything, and then we're sell. Yeah, I actually want to be a user of this platform because I'm just going to sell stickers. So maybe apparel isn't the right stickers. What would that be? Swag? Do we have swag? No. Print, maybe printing and publishing. Okay, let's do that. We're selling some stickers. So we can just use a test account. Yeah, I mean, that's probably not what we want. So we want Thor stickers. Maybe Thor. Well, yeah, okay, that's too long. Let's just go with Thor. And then, do we need a phone number again? Can we just do 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Can we just use that in test mode? Okay, and we're missing some information, so we can see the summary now. Okay, we do need that, so 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, A. Let's do that. Done. Okay, and now we're back to our index. So that should mean now if I reload this, I'm probably going to be in the context of, yeah, my connected account here. Because when someone signs up now, we set the cookies for them to be logged in. So I actually have to log out again to sign into my platform account. 2FA. That's a good opportunity to maybe drink some water. Hydrate, everybody. Okay, so now we have our payment online. So that's our platform. And so now we go to connected accounts. We need to look at the test data. And so now we can see here, this was the first account that we redirected to where we didn't actually complete the information, but we now have this German tester in Singapore. And we have payments enabled, payouts enabled, because we filled in all the required information for that. And so actually now let's log in. Let's do an incognito. So basically let's log in as the context of our connected account to see what that looks like. So that's here. Let's see. Oh, okay. So that's now why we get the 2FA. I mean, for test mode, that feels like a bit of overkill, no? Maybe we want to ramp up that Twilio bill. Okay, so this is now, so let's call this, so this is our sticker store. So actually, let's do Thor sticker on. So we'll sell our Thor stickers on payment.online. And so now the idea is that I can add my product. So we would say we're selling Mjolnir sticker. Maybe have a description. And so this is the product information that will show on the payment link page. So let's say the cutest. And that information is also shown in on the checkout page later with Stripe checkout. Say the cutest Mjolnir sticker. And let's actually upload an image. Got our cute Mjolnir. There it is. And then what we can do is we want one-time pricing, standard pricing. And if we look at Thor Sticker Store, you see we offer a couple different currencies and the price changes for those. So we want $4 US, and that includes shipping, Euro, GBP. So let's just do USD, Euro, and Singapore dollars for now. So Euro, we set 360. Add another price. That's USD 4 one time, and then add another price, Singapore dollars one time. And now we save the product. And so we don't have the webhook handler set up yet. But the idea would be is that when we can see here the events that happen, so we get a product was created event, and in the context of the platform, we can get all of these events with the respective account ID. And then what we do is we just call the Stripe API to update the product object and add some metadata. So basically, we'll do that via the API. But so what our application will do is add metadata, and we will just say payment link, and then this will just add the URL schema payment.online, and then we need the account ID. So that's kind of the account schema I'm going to use. Account ID slash, and then the product ID, and the product ID is here. Where is it? There it is. Product ID. And that really is kind of what enables us to do this without a database in the beginning, where we'll just have this schema, and then in Next.js, we'll just read out the account ID and the product ID. So let's actually now create that schema in the Next.js pages. So the way we do this, let's close the API for now, is we create a new file. And now the way we can create dynamic routes is in brackets. So this will be merchant and then product. And then we need an index.tsx file. And so this will be our route to this page. And we can look that up in the docs. So where is, I think it's just routing. Is it routing? Dynamic routes. That's it, right? Yeah, so this, any route. So here you can see pages, post, and then just that. And if we want to have the nested here, okay, so they don't do the index dot, so we could just do merchant slash product.tsx. Is there a downside to doing this? I mean, we could, yeah, what we want to have later, actually, if we look back into, I actually want to add the QR code path. And the idea is to have this path, but then with /QR. And really what that does is just it renders a QR code that then represents the URL to the payment page. And so, yeah, that's why we'll want to have this as a folder, because then here in the folder, we'll have also the QR.tsx, which will be the QR code. Cool. It's interesting that this one is provided anyway. Okay. So let's just try this out maybe. Oh, and the great thing is actually this renders as a link. Yeah, of course there's nothing there at the moment, but that's cool. That's cool. Okay. So let's just do export default function, and we call this. So this really is our product page. And if we go back to the dynamic routes, so there is a way to get, do we get router.query? Okay, so that's what we do. We do router, use router. Okay. Use router, and then get the router, and the router has a query, and then we can get the whole query things here. And so let's do this, and what we have is the merchant and the product. So merchant and product, and these will be strings. And then let's do the following and just return. Maybe let's just return a span for now, where we'll say just to kind of make sure we get the right things. Slash merchant slash product. Let's see. So now, oh yeah, this is complaining because I mean we'll have function. What happens if I don't know, that's not what I want. QR code page, and then this just returns. We'll have to figure out what the QR code looks like, but let's just return QR code here. Okay, so let's see if that is all working as it's expected. So now if we go, we don't have it deployed, but if we now just replace payment online with localhost 3000. Okay, nice. So we get, oh yeah, I didn't realize, did I not realize this? Oh, if you want to use JavaScript within wait, isn't this shouldn't this, no? Yeah, right? No. Yeah, okay. So okay, payment online, we get our account and our product, and so we'll just use that information to then retrieve the product details from Stripe and render those to the page. And so that way we can kind of get off building an MVP without a database. And so, yeah, let's actually do that now. So what we'll need is an API route. And we'll need new file. So we'll do product products. And then the ID. Is that what we should do? Just products ID, but we also need the merchant ID. Should we just follow the same? Let's just do that. Yeah, we probably can. I mean, we can always refactor, I guess. But then, so what we now want is to figure this out, dynamic routes within the API routes now. And so this is how this works here. Cool. So should I just, let's just copy from, here we have the, let me just, oh, come on. So I'm just kind of using the hello as like a template. Okay. Probably should have done some commits in between. Anyway. So now we get our products. Okay. And so now we can get the query from the request, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Next.js is pretty neat. And so we'll have merchant and ID. So merchant, comma, ID. And so what we can do now is get the product. And the way we do this is we say stripe.products.retrieve. And product retrieve takes the product ID, which here is our ID, which is a string. And then it takes a bunch of params, including the API version, but also it takes in the Stripe account. And so the Stripe account is an account ID on whose behalf we want to make the request. And so because the product doesn't exist on our platform account, the product exists on our connected account. So the product belongs to our connected account. So that's why we need to retrieve the product from our connected account. So we want the Stripe account, and then we set the Stripe account to the merchant ID. And so now here, this is saying, I think the problem is we just say ID as string. Oh, I guess that doesn't like it. Do we also need to say merchant as string? Is that the problem? Okay. Yeah, so because the type here is either string or array of string, and why could it be an array of strings? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure in what scenario it would be an array. But anyway, for TypeScript, we need to cast it, say that we're expecting this to be a string. And so now what we get back is a Stripe product. So let's just return the product. And so now we see we're complaining because we want the return time to be Stripe product. Okay, and so now if we do the same call, but just put API in front of it, fingers crossed, this page could not be found. Did I do anything API? Oh, products / merchant / ID. Okay, API, products, get a server error. And we probably should wrap this into a try catch. But what is the error we get? Oh, no such product. Okay, what did I do wrong? I mean, we are connected. Let's see if we can see any get logs on this. We can't. Okay, so maybe we did something wrong. So this is our platform. Logs. So I guess we won't see it here because we set the account header. Yeah, so we won't see it here, but okay, let's just step through this. Okay, maybe let's actually do, so we can use the Stripe CLI for testing. And we can say, we need to do a Stripe login for the CLI connected. We want payment online connected. Yes. Okay, done. And now, oh, the question is, would it actually, so technically we can do Stripe logs tail. Logging API request. Let's actually do the following and wrap this into a try catch. Didn't it used to? Interesting. Oh, damn, I can't type. What's up with my VS Code? It used to give me the, anyway. Catch error. And then we want to try this, and then catch error as 400 error. Okay. Okay, I guess this is now complaining because error any. So okay, here in this case, let's just remove the type for now. Okay, Make that any. Any, are you okay? Right. And so now what happens if we... Ooh, I have too many browser contacts. Azure's missing. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so we get the request. So let's see if we can... Oh, wait. Did I... what am I doing? So this is the account. This is the product. The product ID is correct, right? HT752. Yeah. So only the account ID could be wrong. No, but the account ID is correct. What the heck is happening? Does this request exist on this account? Okay, the request is made. Resource missing. Is the Stripe header? Okay, wait, let's see 1 second. I have a feeling no, we do have okay. What the heck? I mean, it's the right account ID, isn't it? Okay. Are you using the Stripe account header correctly? Yeah, probably not. But isn't this how it's supposed to work? Let's wait. Yes, the product doesn't exist. Am I on the wrong account? What the heck? Oh. I am, oh no. So I have multiple accounts with the tester ID. So, and I created the product on the wrong account. Wait, what? Because, okay, let me see this. So you see tester at test.d has 2 accounts. And if we now check the account ID, let's see. Thanks, Paul, for helping do this. So this is the account ID that the product exists on. So if I change this to that account ID, I get a permission error, does not have access. So this account is actually not connected to our platform. Okay, so I think the only thing actually I need to do is just switch into this other account, right? And create the product there. So can I do this? Switch. Okay. Now I'm on the right account. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, so the cutest. I mean, that's. Yeah, I guess that's kind of with the new account links. You sort of get multiple accounts under your email address. Well, fair enough. Okay. Let's just quickly create this. One time, US dollar. Let's just stick with the 2 for now. Okay, and so now this is the product on the correct account. So now if we go back, so here it says resource doesn't exist. So now if we put the right product ID, hallelujah. Okay. So now we have the information. Yeah, so to recap, what I was doing is I created the product on the wrong account here. So we actually want to rename this. Okay. Why doesn't it switch though here? Oh, because it does do some fancy stuff with the URL. So because we're interesting. So it sort of recognizes the product exists on the other account and then auto switches the account for you. Interesting. Okay, I'm learning a lot here, which is great. But the thing though is this is the wrong account. This account is actually not connected to yeah, you can see here Germany. We created the other one as Singapore. So let's just call this wrong account. And now call this one. Yeah, that's okay. That's around. Damn it. Okay, Thor stickers on payment.online. Give that a save. Okay. So now we're right. And yeah, the idea is later we listen to the webhooks. And then we add the metadata, payment link. I think, did I say? Maybe I do it payment link like that. So we're on brand. And now I can just copy this. Although we don't want to go to the API. So this is the schema we're going to use. And now if we go to this actual link, we only get, so we need to hook this up. So let's do this. I think that's the last thing I'm going to do tonight or today. What is time? And yes, so let's just close these all for now. and we want to be on this one here. So instead of that, let's just, so here, get product data from Stripe. And I think we can do, if we go back to our Next.js docs, we just do data fetching. And yeah, there's a bunch of different things. So what we, on Thursday, what we want to do is this incremental static regeneration. And I'm going to have Lee Robinson join me for this. He's done a bunch of static stuff with Next.js, which is really cool. But so the idea is that with get static props, we can generate a static page. But what we can do is, you know, the information, the product information could change. We could, there could be a new price being added to the product. The description of the product could change. But also we want to use the status of the product to show whether the product is in stock or out of stock. So we'll be able by, if you basically want to say, oh, you know, I'm out of stock, you would just archive the product. And then that would set the product status to inactive, so to not active. And that's what we're going to use to basically show out of stock or in stock. But so that means we need to regenerate our static page every once in a while. And that's where kind of the, so incremental static regeneration comes in. So update existing pages by re-rendering them in the background as traffic comes in. And I mean, this is just mind-blowing, right? The functionality that you can get out of Next.js there. But so, let's just do, maybe do this the way this works. And then we get, so this function returns props posts, and then the props are fed into our function upstairs here. So this is just props. So here we want the product from the props. Okay, so we already have product in there. So we'll call this product details. Although we call product and then product details. Okay. So that's a way to rename the variable kind of while destructuring the props. And so that's our function. And then we add the, let's just comment this out for now. So get static props. What we want to fetch is our at what point do we, can we just use the router? I think we can we just do this? I think so. Let's see, because then we can actually just do and we can just do this because what we need is we need this information down here, and then we built our, and that is basically just API slash, let's see, we had it here somewhere. just copy this over. And then this is the merchant. And then this is the product, right? And what that returns is just the product. So this would be product. And we then return the product. Should that be it? Yeah, okay, that's the problem. I probably should just call this product ID, which really is what it is. Okay. That should be it. And so now let's actually just do, let's just render this as JSON.stringify, do our product, do some nice formatting. All right, that should be it. That a bit smaller. I think it's called at build time. Oh, okay, at build time. Let's just see what happens. Get static paths. Oh yeah. So, okay, we'll dive into the static stuff later. So that's okay. I think I was just blindly copying things. I actually just want. Yeah, okay, because it would have to know. Can I just do the fallback? Fallback true? I think so, right? Get static. Wait. Oh, I just get static props, is it? Because it's called at build time. Yeah, okay, we need to do the path stuff. Okay, we'll do that on Thursday, but today what I want, can I just replace this with get server-side props maybe? How possible? Let's see. So instead of doing it at build time, we just do it on this. No. Hooks can only be called inside the body of a function component. Okay, so we can't do. Right. Okay, so I think I might just fetch it on the client for now. Yeah, I think that's what we need. Okay, so we'll do all of this funky stuff next week. So let's just do this. And we want to add SWR. Okay, and now we can import use WR. And we can just do this, I guess. Okay, and so now instead of doing this at build time, which is kind of the optimization we'll do next week, we'll do this at on the client side. So anytime the page loads, we'll execute that. And now let's just comment this out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So, router merchant product ID will not do the fetch. What we need is this. And then I'll do this. Is that what we do? I think we need to prefix this. Let's just test this out. Okay. So I think we need to feed something into. Okay, let's see. Loading empty. Yeah, I think there's. Yeah, undefined. You see this? There's a time until the router actually fetches this. So what we need to do is we need to, and it kind of re-renders. Yeah, so I think I remember what we need to do. So we pass either null. So basically, if for example, if product ID. Do we have a product ID? Then we do this. Otherwise, we do null. I think that was it. And if we do null, then it knows that it's still loading. No, okay. That wasn't it. Oh, so the API request was correct. Oh, but what's returned? No, it should be data, right? Okay, I might have been going for too long, but we get. We get the product data. We're just not rendering it. Why are we not rendering it? Are we using it incorrectly? Let's check out the docs if in doubt. Data dot. But I mean, it should just. The data is not empty, is it? Why does it not want our data? Can we just console log the data? Let's see. No, I mean, it is here. Wait, what? Okay, I'm not seeing what's going wrong here, but I think I might fix that next time. I mean, this is all, we're making the right request. Am I? This should re-render, and it does do. Anyone see? Do I just say product? No. It's just data body? No. But what? Okay, I don't know. I'm not figuring it out today, but yeah, so what we did, we managed to create our connect route to connect our Stripe accounts. I'm going to, okay, last action of the day, commit this to GitHub. Let's create a new one. Let's just put this in the description. It's not too long. Seems to be fine. Let's actually double check that that is the correct domain I have. Manage domains. Yes, that's good. And then no, we don't. Yeah, we'll need to add a license file. Yeah, let's actually do that now. Okay, what do? We need to commit those changes. We did a bunch of stuff. Let's call it that. And then we'll need to add a license file. We'll just make that MIT license. Actually, all of our Stripe samples, that was where I'm gonna just grab the license from, but all of our Stripe samples are open source with MIT license. So I think I can just grab that and then license. And I just need to actually that the proper just copyright year, copyright holder. Okay, copyright year. Actually, 2020. Yes. Yeah, just double checking we have, yeah. Okay. And then this is me. Maybe you can find me on Twitter if you want to. Well, that's not it. I really can't type anymore. I should stop streaming. Is that correct? Yes, that is it. Okay, okay. Is that it? Just making sure. Okay, and now let's add this and add license. Let's call it MIT license. There we are. And now we just push. Oh yeah, it's not master, it is main. I got my push alias, so let's just push to main. There we are. Yeah, we'll need to update kind of all of that, but we have our for commits, TypeScript, great. Maybe we add, I actually have a little post on indie hackers. Where's my post? Just add that as a, come on. Use. No, this one. Yeah, so feel free to, I have a little voting form there if you want to vote which time is more convenient to you. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. The point is to publish and report every day. Well, not every day, but hopefully twice a week. There we are. Need to have any of those for now. Okay. And then, yeah, here we are. Okay. And I think that's all we do for today. yes, that's all we do for today. So next, on Thursday morning, 9 a.m. PT, Lee, where are you? Lee Robinson. Yeah, so I'm gonna have Lee Robinson join me. He's done a bunch of Next.js stuff. He's got a React course, and so we're then going to look at the whole static. That's what we want to do: incremental static regeneration. And yeah, what I couldn't figure out now, and yeah, we'll do that on Thursday. Also, brilliant if you stayed the whole almost 2.5 hours now. Damn, crazy. Yeah, thanks for staying. Please jump into either the India Hackers post or the Notion board. Maybe we can quickly see how far we got. We did allow merchants to connect their Stripe account. We did get the product info from Stripe. We still need to do this. Yeah. Okay. Bunch of things to do. But yeah, exciting. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and hopefully see you next time. All right, and we're out. Bye-bye.